El 10 de mayo se estrena Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes y estamos aquí en Descanso Gardens en Los Ángeles porque vamos a entrevistar al director y a los actores principales. Pero mientras, vamos aquí a llamar a Jasper. Porque no sé si saben que también los pájaros son parte de esta película. Freya Allan, Peter Macon, thank you for being with me today.
Thank you.
Have you done interviews like in the middle of a forest before?
No.
We shot a lot in the middle of a forest, like to make this movie, so it feels very reminiscent of that. Just waiting for someone to bring the blue CGI suit and put that on. My performance capture helmet.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and you guys, well, you, Freya, your character is one of the few that is not wearing something on top. How was like, tell me a little bit about your character and how was filming among the rest of the group that they were all like with stuff on, on top of them.
It's funny because you very quickly just get used to the fact that they look like numpties every day, and you know I was also you know covered in dirt myself, so everyone was looking a bit silly. But also they just embodied the apes so well that I sort of forgot about all of that stuff, and it became very normal. But it was very odd having to kind of, I'd have to do a slate, so I'd have to shoot the scene without them in it, and that was probably the weirdest part for me, was having to do a whole scene with no actors in front of me. But yeah, it was amazing getting to see all of you guys just completely go into these creatures after ape school, and like I didn't need to imagine anything because they did it all.
And Peter, you play this wise orangutan.
Yeah, wise, sure, nutty, sure. He's probably talks to himself a lot. So, but yeah, he's a voice of reason, I think, or a sage. You know, like he's an archaeologist. Sort of still tries to live by the philosophy of Caesar's creed of apes together strong. Ape shall not kill ape, but you know, he spends a lot of time by himself. So.
How did you prepare for the role?
How did I prepare for this? Well,
the movements are very specific. And
we had 6 weeks of camp, you know, so with Elaine Gauthier and really getting into like the anatomy of the various apes, you know, gorillas, orangutans, chimps, and bonobos, which are different and vastly different than human beings. So we spent a great deal of time separating our human self away from getting out of our human body and more into ape body. And you know, then you know, we, as I said, we shot a lot in locations such like that, a lot like this, you know, and then working with Freya, like she's like the little dirty human that shows up all the time. So it wasn't really hard to imagine a lot. I mean, because she just embodied this person. So a lot of it was already given to us, you know. So I prepared by spending a lot of time learning how to become an orangutan, or learning how to walk and run, because orangutans are not the fastest chimps fastest apes on the planet, and also then translating that to language, because my character is very very chatty fellow, and so really spending time digging in and analyzing like the differences between like human colloquial speech and like and what an ape would sound like if they were to be this articulate. So and then just playing and getting them, just doing it, you know.
So this is the 4th installment of the reboot of the franchise, but this is a franchise that has been going on since 1968, and it's so well known. How was for you guys like becoming part of this world?
I mean, I think it feels like an honor, you know, to get to be a part of film history, you know. But it's crazy because there's so much talk around it being so big, and I feel like for all of us, you know, at least for me, Owen and Kevin, we felt like it was such an intimate kind of process, and we really formed this kind of team of people that were just enjoying creating together and really kind of supporting one another. And I feel like in our heads it feels like so small, and it's kind of hard to kind of comprehend that it's, you know, as everyone's saying, like it's, you know, a big movie and everything, because it just felt so kind of intimate, I guess, which is really nice. I feel like I personally feel very detached from kind of like how big of a thing it is.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is I feel like this is maybe its own. It's like a new chapter in the franchise. Like, I don't consider this to be like the fourth movie because it takes place so much longer after, you know, Caesar, you know, the Caesar trilogy happens, and as far as being a part of like this franchise history film, because of that, I feel like and then to your point, a lot of my scenes were very small and just two-person scenes, like a lot of just working with, even though there are hundreds of people around, you know, like lighting it and doing anything, but like when it came down to it, most of my scenes were with Owen, and just they're very small, like intimate, connecting, and so it felt accessible in that way. I never thought, you know, I never had the pressure in my head of like, oh, this is giant shoes to fill of being a part of this movie that's 50 something years old, this idea of this movie being, because it was able to exist on its, and I think that's the best place to be, because I think it'd be overwhelming.
There's too much noise otherwise.
Yeah,
you have to
work,
cancel
yeah.
out the noise, because you know, in order for us to just have a good time and do the things that matter and not get
the small
carried
things on
away.
such a ironically on such a grand scale, but it's the small connection that, you know, I guess now we can step back and look at this big giant movie, but like when we were doing it, you can't think about any of that because that betrays the truth of the moment.
Totally.
So that was a gift, you know, and I feel really, like you just said, being part of film history, like now it's forever, and like that's pretty significant. That, you know, my grandchildren or somebody down the road will be able to see this, and that feels good to be a part of that, like to, as an artist, to, you know, like have to contribute to the zeitgeist in some way.
It looks like you had a good time. So
Yeah.
Great time. It was just so nice to have such a nice bunch of people, and, you know, a bunch of actors. No one was, you know, oh, I'm up here and you're down here. Everyone was just, we were all on the same field as it should be, and just a nice bunch of
Great
people.
ensemble.
Yeah.
Like it felt like an ensemble. Felt like almost like doing like a play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we spent so much time together in the most zany conditions. You know, like just like brought us, you know, together, like a lot of collective suffering because it was hot and you know, everything wants to kill you in Australia, like the bugs and the snakes and the monitor
Leeches.
lizards and the leeches. Oh,
They were the thing.
oh God, they're the worst.
Did you ever get a leech?
I did.
Did you?
Under
I
2
didn't.
layers of clothing.
That's crazy, because
It's
my
so
feet were out the whole
invasive.
movie, and I
you
didn't
never
get
got
a
one
leech.
leech. You not got a leech at all.
No.
Oh, I was looking out for you. I was like, you know, because I would see them. They would literally be on the blades of grass and just hanging out. And I'm like, there's your bum, and there's a leech. You know? Like it's like I was just gonna get her, but yeah, no, it was amazing. So, but yeah, so stuff like that, like, just really brought us close. You know, so I feel like, and we would have dinner together and hang out. You know, like just as a cast. And so I feel like all of that really lent itself to the process of making the movie.
thank you so much, guys.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you.
That's it.